Alright, hello everyone, and I have a theory. What if, well, the theory I propose is, what if Deltarune and Undertale are actually taking place at the same time? Crazy, I know, but I have some evidence to back up this claim. For example, the place where it rained and it's raining somewhere else. With this, it rains in Deltarune, and in Undertale, a man meant that the Gaster follower mentions, "Why do you have an umbrella? It's raining somewhere else." Which, if that is true, and this is the place where it rained, then wouldn't that mean that it was happening at the same time that Gaster follower talked to Frisk? Another piece of evidence is, well, this recent one that came into light. And you only get access to this room a while into the game. And you only get this a while into the game. Deltarune Chapter 5, which is the 5th out of 7 chapters, so it's late game. Or at least the second half. And this you only get access to, like, second half. And this is Chapter 4, which is before you unlock this room as well. So it all lines up. Then, you got the doors. If Sans really is in both universes, and let's say the reason why we haven't met Papyrus yet is because he's not in this universe. But Papyrus does say, "Was Sans pranking you across time and space again?" Which means that he does in fact be able to go through time and space with the use of, assumedly, these doors. Because he has this door in his room. And the gas room also has that door. So that would mean that what if, whenever, we know in both universes that Sans' house kind of just showed up. They don't know where it came from or how long it's been there, but they assume it's been there a while. So it could be that they just came into both universes at the same time as a portal. Using this door, he has access to both houses. He doesn't let Papyrus have access, though. Only himself. That's why you don't meet his brother. His brother's still in Undertale. And it would correlate again with this, because he only gets the punch card after he writes it out for him. Or, well, has it written out for him. And the reason why it says don't forget is because he's trying not to forget to use the machine over here. Or the doors. Whichever one. To go between universes and remember, hey, I have to go to this universe and do this. You know? And then another thing, the whole entire brother thing. What if, whenever he asks, because this is chapter 1, you know? So if it correlates at all to Undertale, like these other ones have, he's like, "How are you busy? Could you play with my brother tomorrow? He needs some friends." And then he's like the next day, "Sorry kid, the brother thinks you have to wait." How long? Maybe a day, maybe another 2 years. But I think this is just an excuse. Because in reality, he didn't mean this person, he didn't mean Chris. He meant the other human. And this happens whenever you're in Snowden. Or if you want to, you can count the time to where you're in Papyrus's puzzles, you know? Whenever you meet Papyrus and you have to do his puzzles. If so, either way, that correlates with this timeline. Meaning that He meant for the other thing the soul controlled to play with his brother. So that would mean that he knew about the soul, probably because he's going between universes. And in Undertale, there's a pretty good understanding of souls, while in Deltarune there doesn't seem to be around town, except for science. But this implies they knew about the soul and how it controls both this kid and this kid. And knew that this vessel would be his brother, while this one wouldn't be. So he thought he'd just get the message out early by saying, hey, can you play with my brother tomorrow? And then, boom. Then another thing is, look at this. You notice anything familiar? It's the same shape. Of course, though, there's like 2 blocks and a few blocks at the top that are missing. But other than that, it's just that this room is bigger, probably to accommodate for the tree. Which means that, technically speaking, our theories about the Eggman being Gaster is true. After all, his Gaster followers say, hey, he was split across time and space. Across time and space, huh? My brother likes to prank people across time and space. And then, if Gaster was also split across time and space, wouldn't that also make sense from the being Undertale and Deltarune? The reason why he appears more times in Deltarune, though, is because a lot of him is in one place in Undertale, which is why you can actually see him. Meanwhile, in Deltarune, he's been split even further across multiple egg rooms. And I'm sure there's more evidence, but it would make more sense, right? And I'm pretty sure that if this is true, then Undyne attacking the knight in Chapter 3, with her armor and all that, is about the same time in Undertale as whenever you're fighting Undyne. Both fights happen to correlate. And then, what do you know? In freaking, what was it? Chapter 5? No. What was it? If Chapter 5 does correlate with, the punch card thing, which happens, I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, after the Asgore fight, or was it before? I don't remember. Either way, this same chapter we also happen to have Asgore a lot, and the 7 human flowers, 7 human souls. These also happen around the same time. And then, to even further expand upon this, when, great, what was it? Was it chapter 3, chapter 4? In chapter 4, whenever you're doing the whole entire Gerson thing, that is about the same time as in Undertale, whenever you're around the area of the wetlands that has Gerson and its Deltarune prophecy. Meaning that those also correlate. It's just correlation after correlation. Which means that if this is true and that things are taken relative same place, Chapter 6, if we've already done the Asgore section, Undertale and Deltarune, Chapter 6, the reason why we no longer have no Starwalker, no Egg, no nothing, is because the next chapter will be the sort of like, true lab, I assume, or either the true lab kind of experience, or it will be a final fight kind of experience. Because usually after you beat Asgore, Omega Flowey, assuming you don't do genocide, and it doesn't seem to be correlated with genocide, so Omega Flowey most likely pacifist and neutral, he appears. Which means that didn't Chris grab some flower seeds from a certain golden flower? Huh. Seeds that haven't grown yet and probably don't have any emotional values or anything yet. Golden flowers. Huh. And then chapter 7, assuming we go into the bunker in chapter 7. Yeah, no, if we go into the bunker in chapter 7, assumedly, then that would mean that that's the true lab kind of ending thing. We do a kind of true lab thing. Because, assumedly the creepy bunker where they're sacrificing people. Because in Deltarune, it literally stated, on the phone call that Chris has with the knight, assumedly, or Carol, whatever, they say, we're gonna sacrifice the police officer next week. Which will happen to be chapter 7, because assumedly it's been 7 days. Well, come to think of it, chapter 1, and then chapter 2 is 2 days. Chapter 3, hang on. Chapter 3 happens like overnight, I'm pretty sure. And then chapter 4 takes another day, so that's 3 days. Chapter 5 is festival, so that's another day, so that's 4 days. No. But I guess, assumedly chapter 6 takes another day, then it'll be pretty close to Undyne Sacrifice. And assumedly, if there's kidnapping people and sacrificing them, probably with Asgore and stuff, then that probably means they have some experiments down there, which would once again correlate with the whole entire true lab thing. Which means, and assumedly, if we do have the final fight ever in chapter 7, then it would probably be a fight similar to Azrael Dreamer or something. You know, the Max pacifist boss fight or whatever. Or they could do something else. You know? Either way, I think my theory has some pretty strong points. Unless, of course, you guys can come up with in the comments some counterpoints. But personally, I think this theory holds up pretty strong. That Deltarune happens around the same time as Undertale. And the reason why this can happen is because it is across time and space. Thank you for coming to my talk about this theory. And I don't know, like the video, subscribe, usual YouTuber crap. I'll see y'all again eventually, because I don't usually post anymore. Unless, of course, this video does well and I can unleash some other theories I have. Or something.